You know that feeling you get when it's December 31st and you're so excited to start next year? You feel like you have a clean slate, fresh energy. The world is your oyster. But 30 days in, 60 days in, a large portion of people just don't get shit done. You fall flat on your goals, you're unmotivated, you don't follow through, just something happens. Life takes over. I would say 90+% of people, they go after it in their first month and they're so excited, and you see it in gyms, right? Like everybody wants to lose weight, everybody wants to be fit. 60 days in, they give up, they didn't even go. I mean, that's real. And so for me, I've spent a lot of time trying to figure out what the winning formula is. I created a system that works for me. And the system is a 3x3x3 framework. And I don't want to call it a goal setting framework because goal setting to me is not effective. It's a goal accomplishing framework. Because if you follow these steps, the processes, this is what I do, this is how I structure it, this is what I list out for myself. The last 3 years for me have been night and day difference against the rest of my life. And it was because I implemented this framework. And I did it in a way that motivated me, not just one time a year, but 4 times a year. And so I'm gonna break it down right now. But before we do that and we get into the nitty gritty, I first wanna ask you, when was the last time you actually sat down with your own thoughts by yourself, just thinking about what you wanted out of life? And I don't think many of us actually spend that time. So the first task is to just give yourself the ability to spend time with yourself, figuring out and truly visualizing what you want out of life, what you want to achieve, what is the ideal dream life for you. And think about everything, what you wear, what car you drive, what your house looks like, what your family looks like, what the experiences are. You have to have this vision board of pictures in your mind of what you want to achieve. And yes, that's okay that it's 10 years out, 5 years out. But if you don't see clearly exactly what you want and feel it to your core, there is absolutely zero chance that you even know where you're going. You have to know where you're going. And then that year-old quote of like, how do you eat a whale? Well, one bite at a time scenario, it's the truth, right? Like, how do you build $100 million company? Figure out that you want to go build $100 million company, and then you start putting the pieces of the puzzle in place and take it step by step by step with what your skill set is done from day one all the way until you achieve it. But you know your outcome, you know what you're trying to achieve. So the same thing for your life and your goals. You have to know where you're going and what you want out of life. Once you know exactly what you want clearly, you then break it down into what does this year need to be like for you to get 1 year closer or one step closer to achieving that lifestyle. So let's dive in right now. All right. So this is a 3x3x3 framework, and I'm going to explain exactly what I mean by this 3x3x3 framework. So the first thing is you want to have 3 lifestyle type pillars that you want to achieve goals with it. This is how I've positioned my goal setting that has allowed me to actually live unbelievably fulfilled life across everything. So the first one is my health. Second is wealth. And last, it's happiness. So let's stop there for a second and talk a little bit about what these actually mean. When you think health, if your mind is not physically ready, if you are not in the best shape, not just best shape physically, but best shape mentally, inspirationally, and like actually able to accomplish or go after the things, you're not even in the right state of mind. You're not even able to go chase your dreams because you haven't put yourself in the best foundational state. If you're not physically set, everything from the pressured environments or the stressful experiences that are going to come your way are much harder to handle. And so the first thing that I say is you take care of the only body that you're given, and the health can be health of the body, health of the mind, health of the soul and the spirit, right? Like you need to be healthy all the way through. Then when you talk about wealth, this is what most of us think about goal setting to be, right? It's what do I want to accomplish from a revenue perspective? What do I want to do with my business? What are all the new things that I want to do from a financial or wealth or abundance standpoint? Obviously, you know that clearly. We're going to define exactly how to get the most out of it. And then the last one, which is honestly the one that makes it all worthwhile. If you're truly not happy, but you got a shit ton of money and you live a miserable fucking life and your kids don't even fucking like you, I don't think it's a truly fulfilled, loving life. So within happiness, you have things like love and like what it is that you're doing from an experiential perspective. Where are you going? When you look back at the best memories you've ever had in your whole entire life, what are they? Maybe you took a trip with your friends and your family and you went to the Swiss Swiss Alps, but you look back and you can see it so clearly. What about if you had that as part of your plan for the year and you set a goal to achieve this Misogi type experience? Well, that brings you true happiness. When you balance out health, wealth, and happiness and use this 3x3x3 framework, you're gonna be able to live a truly fulfilled, unbelievably successful and happy life. So the first three right here is health, wealth, and happiness, right? Of your first frame. Then we move on to what's the second three. So the second three is within health, wealth, and happiness, you're gonna have 3 goals within each one. You have 3 key yearly objectives or goals that you're trying to accomplish. And think big. It's okay that you don't feel that you can accomplish it in a year, because it's totally okay to end your year being 70 or 80% of the way to accomplishing a goal that you thought was much bigger than anything you've ever set out for yourself. But not having something that's pulling you or pushing you or challenging you is worse than putting a goal of saying, I just want to lose 5 pounds, but the truth is it's not inspirational enough. So you have to have lofty, inspirational, inspiring goals to wake up every single moment wanting to be better, or at least chasing it, and knowing that it's going to take you time. The truth is that progressing forward is what gives you that sense of success and fulfillment. So now that you have your second 3, which are the 3 goals within each pillar, you move into the last 3. Let's take health, for example, because I think that this is one that is a foundational kind of component. Your health, you want to lose 30 pounds. You're gonna take this goal and you're gonna move it down and you're gonna create the final 3. You're gonna create 3 actionable items, things that you are physically gonna take action doing, that you know they're gonna give you the biggest chance of success against that goal possible. So if you wanted to lose 30 pounds, the first thing I would say is, in order for me to lose 30 pounds, I know that I need to be consistent. I gotta do shit that I don't wanna do. And the best way to do that is to have someone that you feel accountable towards. Find someone that becomes your accountability partner that's gonna keep you going when you don't wanna fucking go and shit gets hard. That's gonna happen, right? So number 1 is find accountability. It's an action item. The second thing that we wanna do that's an action item to help us lose 30 pounds is say, in order for me to lose 30 pounds, I know that I need to be able to eat less food or eat the proper foods or have a nutritionally balanced lifestyle. I gotta give up all the shit foods, the snacking, the late night cravings, all of the things that you know deep inside are probably holding you back from losing 30 pounds. You're gonna have to look at yourself in the face and be like, well, this is gonna be tough, which is why this is so important. And so the second thing I would say is establish a nutritional plan that allows you to eat 2,200 calories because you figured out that that's the amount of calories you need to eat to be in caloric deficit state. And when you think about this, the accountability is gonna support you on a daily nutrition plan in order for you to achieve losing 30 pounds. And then the last thing you're gonna say, okay, accountability, I have to eat better and I'm gonna get on a nutrition plan. The last thing you're gonna say is, you know what? I'm gonna set a target that no matter what, whether it's raining, shining, the day is good, it's not good, whatever the fuck the scenario is in your life, you are gonna move for 45 minutes a day. These 3 action steps become non-negotiables. They become part of your life no matter what, and it's part of how you're going to achieve one health goal. But when you set this health goal up, you're saying, I'm gonna lose 30 pounds this year. And in order to do that, these are 3 action steps that I'm gonna take immediately that are gonna help ensure the highest probability of success for that first goal. But you're gonna do this same action step for every single one of these 9 total goals across the 3 content pillars, right? So now you're taking the 3x3x3 framework and you're applying it into pillars, then 3 goals, and then 3 actionable steps against each one of these goals. So now I want to take it just one step further. The feeling that you get in the beginning of the year or at the end of the year that gives you almost that sense of, I could do this. You're in the right state. Imagine if you had that same freshness and experience 4 times a year. The way to do that, it's crazy, but this literally changed the game for me. I then said, I'm gonna do it every quarter. Now I'm gonna break this whole thing up and I'm gonna break it into every 3 months, which is equal to a quarter. So Q1, January, February, March, I'm gonna have 3 health goals, 3 wealth goals, 3 happiness goals. I'm gonna have my 3 action plans against that goal. And then I am gonna completely assess, reset, and reframe this every single quarter. I'm gonna treat it as like, how close did I come? How far did I go? What wasn't accomplished? Was I on path? Was I off path? Maybe the fucking goal as a whole isn't a goal that you even wanted in the first place, but you had it it on your goal list, but like you didn't take any action steps toward because it probably didn't mean enough to you, take it off your list. Things change. Put it on your list for Q2 and now treat this entire quarter as a whole new year and do the same thing for quarter 2. And at the end of that quarter, sit down, reframe, do it all over again, and do that at the end of every quarter. And I promise you, this will be life-changing. Goal accountability framework for me is everything. Not only does it keep you setting consistent goals, it keeps you accountable to those goals and allows you to actually achieve things you set out in life. You don't get discouraged and not have any goals. No, you have to have things you're looking forward to or inspiring against. And it's totally okay to not achieve your goals. I've been chasing one goal since I was 19 years old. I know that I could probably get it done in the next 12 to 18 months. And it is the best feeling that I've been chasing this for so long, and I'm actually there. I got goosebumps. And so like, I want that same feeling for you. But if you can't see far enough and you're not setting every single day your intentions to get you one step closer, you're gonna be stuck. You're gonna be in the same spot you're in today if you're not happy, or you're not gonna be where you wanna be. Go after these goals this way, and it will change your life. So also, if you don't even have 3 goals, you could break this down into the 3 things that you feel are like the most important from a health perspective. Because when you really start diving deep into what does a healthy life look like for me, you're gonna realize there's more than one. It could be something as simple as I wanna wake up and be grateful for what I have in my life at that moment in time. But that could change. There's multiple ways you can slice the pie. So when I look at the entire thing, I say 3x3x3 framework allows me to have a structure that forces me to think differently and push the boundaries on what I really want, which gets you deep into thought. When you go deep into thought, you're thinking about what you want versus it being very superficial and there's only being one outlet. But if there's only one outlet, right, or only one goal, is that really everything? Because when you achieve it, what happens next? And it's not big enough then. So then I would challenge you. If you feel you only have one, what happens if it's able to be achieved in 6 months? What would be the next goal? Well, maybe the next goal is to double that. Let's just say, for example, your goal is to get to $10,000 a month. Say you get there in 6 months. You're probably gonna say, well, good. That was step 1, that was goal 1. Now what I wanna do is I wanna achieve $20,000 a month, right? So you can say, okay, these are my 3 targets for the year. Maybe the target is you wanna figure out how do you get to $30,000 a month. That changes your mindset. And when you take an action plan against 30, your action plan changes because you're not gonna be able to get to 30 the same way you're gonna be able to get to 10. And so that's where I really would like you to push into the 3x3x3 framework because it forces you to go and figure out exactly what you want. I have specific goals that I want to achieve, but I also have my quarterly goals built out. So for me, I take my year and then I break it down and I actually create the same framework per quarter, but I only build out the first 2 quarters. I'm gonna say that in quarter 1, I want to achieve this. So if this is your year, you're gonna say, I wanna lose 10 pounds by Q1, because now you're breaking down that into a quarter. Now you're taking your year and you're breaking it down. And so then you're gonna say 30,000. And then from there, you're gonna back yourself into, okay, but by the end of Q1, I wanna be at 5,000. Do I have the 3 actionable steps to get me to 5 by March 31st? And if not, you need to reposition, readjust, or refocus your energy to put you in the state where you're able to accomplish that. That's where you guys start to get to real practical of like what's possible versus just fucking lofty kind of written out goals. The actionable steps is the secret sauce. If you create 3 actionable steps and then you do it and adjust it every 90 days, it stays fresh, you adjust, so you're constantly evolving, you're constantly moving because you might be able to do this really well, but then quarter 2, now you add another one and now there's another thing that you didn't do in quarter 1, but you keep accountability, now you have another one to get you there. So being able to constantly adjust every 90 days and having your action plan is the true secret sauce. I would then go further. I would say, get yourself a journal. Physically write in this journal. The power of taking what's in the mind and seeing it come down on physical form is so powerful because not only are you just thinking about it, you're actually visually seeing it going down on a piece of paper, and then you turn back a physical book at the end of Q1 and you're looking at this throughout the whole quarter. So at the end of month 1, like, what are my 3 goals again? Oh yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be focusing my attention on. So if you want to be really effective, buy yourself a journal. At the beginning of the year, you're going to write 1 word in the first page, just 1 word. That word is going to become what you are going to use as the word that defines your year. For me, It's energy. I want to bring energy into every room, into every conversation, into every opportunity in my life. I want to bring the best energy because I want to lift the soul and the energy of every human I come in contact with for the better. I'm going to bring in energy. What's your word? Figure it out, put it on page 1. And the second thing you're going to do is you're going to turn your page and you're going to go into the 3x3x3 framework. You're going to build this out in detailed structure, break it all down. And then once you're done breaking all this down, you're going to take whatever's right here and you're going to put it down, how you feel, what you want to accomplish, what you're chasing today. And if you don't know what to do, take the number 3 again and say, what are the top 3 things you have to do today to get you one step closer to achieving whatever you want? You do that every single day. And the power of writing everything down, this thing somehow becomes a magic tool to materializing shit in your life. And it helps keep you accountable and it helps you along your path. And it has become one of the most powerful tools I have. And even that one moment of time just gives me the glimpse of like, man, you've come a long way. Like, you're doing great. Keep at it. And that's what I needed in that moment. So you don't understand the power of having one of these. I would recommend get one of these, implement this 3x3x3 framework and change your life for the better. Getting to the next step in life takes a lot of work, but I created this video right here where I talk about how high stress environments create the ultimate millionaires.